I am so disappointed at the UFC and Dana White. UFC 290. This was brutal, guys. Yair Rodriguez took a beating, a beatdown. Let's go back 4 years ago. Sung Jung, 2019. Yair Rodriguez got manhandled for 24 minutes and 58 seconds. However, a sneaky elbow just leading Sung Jung into a trap, he would get the victory. Now, if it wasn't for Chung Jung just being knocked out cold, if he showed any signs of life, I think it's possible he could even got the victory there. If he showed any signs of life, he beat Yair so bad it was just horrible to see him lose that way. But of course, protect yourself at all times. Listen, guys, this was just as bad as that fight. Just as bad. Yair got beat to a pulp in this fight. And we might have to revisit the rehydration clause. Listen, guys, Volkanovski, he's cutting way too much weight. And a lot of people took Yair to win this fight. I have no idea why. Anyone that has watched Yair during his career, we know, look, when it comes to kicks, martial arts, he's probably one of the best in the UFC when it comes to kicks. But in terms of his stand up game and throwing punches, one of the worst in the UFC. Let's just be honest. Now, look, he got manhandled by Sung Jung. He got the win over Stevens. Max Holloway destroyed him. Now he took a couple years off, right? He did work on his stand up. He had contract issues. He had a ton of issues with Dana White. He felt he needed more time. Dana was trying to rush him into championship fights. And look, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Look at his stand up game. It's horrible. Now, me, someone that boxed for 7 years, his stand up game is horrible. Now, when he fought Brian Ortega, he was able to get away with it because Brian Ortega's stand up game is horrible. But the reality here is, look, if you want to be a UFC fighter, a mixed martial artist in today's sport, you have to be great on the ground. Your wrestling has to be top notch, but your stand up game has to be top notch as well. And I think too many fighters are overlooking that. Look, Yair Rodriguez, he was able to get off against Brian Ortega because Ortega, his stand up game is non existent. We all know he wants to submit you, he wants to get the fight to the ground, but Ortega's got to take the time and put in the work. You have to put in the work with your stand-up game. He got away with it against Emmett, but Volkanovski is too big for one. He just manhandled Yair all through this fight. This was disgusting to watch. We seriously have to revisit the rehydration clause. Volkanovski is too big. Yes, he's disciplined. He's able to cut the weight, but he said he hates cutting weight himself, but he's disciplined. He's able to do it. And by the way, this is the greatest of all time. He will go down next to John Jones as the greatest MMA fighter of all time. He's way too skilled. Way too skilled. But listen, guys, I think Volkanovski did a great job of selling the fight, hyping it up. This is my most dangerous fight. I literally had fear in my heart of his striking ability. When it comes to kicks, yes, and we all know, look, the kick you don't see can just put your lights out. We know that, right? We know that. Kamaru Usman, we've seen Wonder Boy stop many people. The kick you don't see can put your lights out. We understand that. But Volkanovski's way too big. I mean, he dominated the ground game. He just controlled Yair. He landed nearly 100 more blows than him. The significant strikes, look, that number's way off. I don't know what's going on with the 6 strikes. Yair didn't land 46 strikes. Are you crazy? Volkanovski landed 60 significant strikes. You had Yair landing 40. That is insane. But of his 60, 48 to the head. 7 for 12 on takedowns. Controlled him for nearly 8 minutes on the ground. And when we're talking about 48 blows to the head, 30 of them came when Yair was on the ground. Herb Dean, did he stop this fight too late is the question. I think he did. Yair took a beating on that mat. He didn't win any round. He didn't have any chance to win this fight.